This is Runescape, the way it's meant to be played, which is my series detailing my playthrough of 2009scape at a 5 times XP rate. By the end, I want to have completed all the quests and experienced all the content. MMOs take years to play through and often involve extremely long grinds. But should they? In the last episode, I bought my first runes and a staff and grinded out a couple magic levels. I managed to get some law rune drops along the way as well, so I've got 3 law runes on hand at the moment. I also completed the cook's assistant quest with a wonderful reading of the quest. Professional level voice acting, if I say so myself. After that, I farmed some imps and turned in the imp catcher quest, which brings us to where we are now. I do realize the episodes have been going very slow, and progress isn't what you see in other series, where by episode 10 they have 80 plus stats or just some crazy achievements. This series probably won't take that route, although it definitely will speed up as we progress. I see the series as not just to look at such an amazing time in RuneScape history, but playing it in a way that's just about having fun and having no care for stats or gold. It's not a speedrun, but instead more of a relaxing cruise, and I really hope you enjoy the ride. Alright, so this episode picks up exactly where we left off in the last one. It's going to be a nice questing experience, although there was a mistake on my part. The Rune Essence quest doesn't take place at the Wizard's Tower, you actually have to start it elsewhere. But we do have that Varrock teleport, since we have those law runes, and I don't remember if the quest starts in Lumbridge or Varrock, so I just figure I'll go there. Either way, Varrock is extremely full of quests, so I'm not really worried about that. Which, as soon as I arrived at Varrock, I actually realized a great quest to start with. It's the smartest character in RuneScape that actually gives you this quest, Romeo. You'll actually get my beautiful narrations for this one. Juliet? Juliet? Where art thou, Juliet? Have you seen my Juliet? Perhaps I can find her for you. What does she look like? Oh, would you? That would be great. She has this sort of hair. Hair. Check. And she these great lips. Lips. Right. Oh, and she has these lovely shoulders as well. Shoulders. Right. So she has hair, lips, shoulders. That should cut it down a bit. Oh yes, Juliet is very different. Please tell her that she is the love of my long and that I life to be with her. What? Surely you mean that she's the love of your life and that you long to be with her. Oh yeah, what you said. Tell her that. It sounds much better. Oh, you're good at this. I am good at this. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna let her know, dude. Oh, great. And tell her that I want to kiss her a give. You mean you want to give her a kiss? Oh, you're good. You are good. I see I've picked a true professional. Okay, thanks. So, after talking to this absolute big-brained man, I, also being big-brained, was able to gather from this information that his woman lived to the west. I ran there immediately to tell her the amazing news. Which, it's actually funny, because remember the house from years ago when I used to play regularly? And I've probably done that quest 20 times on different characters. But as I walked in, I'm like, oh crap, I must have forgotten this. And I started looking up, like, where you go to find Juliet. But before I did that, I actually talked to a woman called Philippa, which Juliet was right on the balcony, but I went ahead and talked to her. And sadly, you're not going to get my amazing narrations for this one. Otherwise, this episode would be way too long. But pretty much, she's like, oh, I'm Juliet's cousin, and by the way, Romeo's really amazing, even though it's kind of weird that I find him amazing. And then it's like, where would I find Romeo? Oh, he's at the Varrock Market. That was kind of the whole conversation. But yeah, after seeing Juliet on the balcony, I went and talked to her, and pretty much it was like, he still cares about you, and she's excited about this, and she's got a letter, and then that letter I'm supposed to go take to him, and she'd be grateful, and it's like, you may be our only hope. And that was kind of the whole conversation. She also kind of insinuated that the news was bad, and so it was time to go give Romeo the bad news. Whatever it may be. So, after giving him the bad news, basically there's really not much to say. He didn't understand any of it. All I got out of it was that I have to go talk to Father Lawrence. I actually remembered where Father Lawrence was at. I didn't know exactly, but I knew if I went over to the east and kind of up, I would run into it. So I just headed that way, and I actually did run into him, so that was pretty good. It's been probably since I really played RuneScape and did any quests, probably a good 10 years. So it was really cool to just know that I remember all of that stuff. So after talking with him, pretty much all he had was that he was going to make a potion to make her appear dead, which seems kind of crazy to me, but hey, what do I know? I actually ended up having the ingredients for the potion in my inventory. I didn't even realize I had them. So I was able to run right over to the apothecary, and I talked to him, and he was just like, oh yeah, wing of rat, tail of frog, ear of snake, and horn of dog, and some weird stuff like that, and then he gave me a potion. So I took it back to Juliet, and she's just cool with it, I guess. You know, that's normal. And then her like cousin's cool with it, and then her dad finds out, you know, not that she's faking her death, but her dad finds out she's dead, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, prepare the crypt, like, you know, because that's what you do when someone dies just randomly out on their balcony. But you know, all a good day's work. So immediately I run off to find Romeo to tell him the news, and well, he's so big-brained that just the idea of lying to these people, he couldn't understand it. His massive galaxy brain just couldn't comprehend that someone would fake something, because he's just too big-brained for all of us. And so we go down in the crypt, and he sees her, and it's all sad that she's dead, even though she's not really dead. And then Philippa, she comes down, and she's like, oh, it's a shame what happened. You know, maybe we can, you know, hang out later, or whatever she says. And then he just responds, who's Juliet? So originally I recorded a very long silence after that part, because I really had no idea what to say. I mean, that really should have been the end of the episode, but it's too short. I want to fit in some more stuff, so on to the next quest we go. The next quest actually happens to be the Shield of Arrav, or however you pronounce that. It's a really long quest. There's a lot of text. I'm not going to read all of that. Basically, there's this shield that is like legendary, and it's important for some reason. But basically, there's these two gangs that are important for some reason, and you find out that one gang has half and one gang has the other half, and so if you put it together, you're going to have a whole shield. And so you infiltrate a gang, but then to complete what that gang wants you to do, you need something from another player that joins the other gang. And so there wasn't any other players. I looked, I asked around. So I created another account, and that account did the other gang for me. Basically, it's like, oh, we need some crossbows or something like that, and you just literally have to walk upstairs and get some crossbows. Not the best writing, not the best work, but, you know, pretty good. And so then you kind of get together, you trade a little bit. You're like, oh, hey, you know, get a certificate from the museum, which, you know, apparently you give the museum the half or something, and then they give you a certificate for half. And if you both do that, then together you each have half a certificate that you, yeah, something like that. It's a good quest. You should try it. You should definitely try it. But yeah, that's the whole quest. That's all you're getting for this one. This one was the most boring thing I ever did in this entire game. I never want to do this quest again. This quest sucks. But yeah, that's the episode. I don't really have much else to say about it. I hope you enjoyed the two quests. There's the Romeo and Juliet quest, and there's the Shield of Arrav quest. They are good. The Shield of Arrav was just kind of annoying because I had to make a whole nother account, and it was just a lot of back and forth. It just felt drawn out for the little reward. I think it was like 600 gold. I can get that in a couple seconds. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've really enjoyed the support from everybody, and hopefully you'll stick around, subscribe, leave a comment. I really enjoy the comments. It's been my favorite part about making these, and I'll catch you in the next one.